All right, I sent the link over, Tracy.
Okay, just waiting on it to come through. Okay, I have it published. So let me just go verify that it is working. You are good to go.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All righty, we'll call this meeting of the Clinical Laboratory Advisory Committee to order. It is October 8th, 2025, and the time is 15:01. I'll go through introductions. I'll just call out names as I see them on the screen. If y'all would introduce yourself as I get to you. All right, I can't see anybody, Dr. Van, because you're sharing your screen.
I'm sorry, I apologize. I'll stop. I was just gonna put the agenda up. I'll wait.
All righty. My name is Gay Brunson. I am, I represent administration for the lab. I am a clinical laboratory scientist. All right, Patsy.
I'm Patsy Jarrow. I'm at the board in charge of clinical laboratory personnel, and I am a medical laboratory scientist.
All right. Melissa.
Hello, I'm Melissa Hamilton. I represent cytology.
Dr. Bridges.
Richard Bridges, representing Rural Physician.
Mr. Kayette.
Yes, Ronald Kayette, Compliance Investigator 3 for the board.
Michelle.
Non-clinical.
Well, thank you. Michelle.
Yes.
I'm a medical laboratory scientist representing administration.
Mr. Frame.
Good afternoon. I'm Patty Dufresne. I am the clinical supervisor here at the board.
Okay. Brittany.
Hi, my name is Brittany LeBlanc. I'm one of the RN investigators here at LSBME.
All right. Nadlin. You're muted.
Madeline put something into the chat about she couldn't hear anybody.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Tracy.
Tracy Morrow, IT for the board.
Alexa.
Alexa Little, CLIA liaison.
Tabitha.
Here's what I found.
Tabitha Whip, the MLTC to work at Opelousas General.
Patricia.
I had to turn mine off because my Alexa device answered your call for Alexa. I am Patricia Wilton. I'm the executive counsel for the board.
All right. Belinda.
Hi, I'm Belinda Carmen up at MLS, and I represent the MLS journalists.
Okay. Angela.
So my name's Angela Foley, and I represent. I have one of the educator positions.
Are you the iPhone?
Yes.
She's the iPhone. Yeah.
All right. Angela Mathern.
Hi, Angela Mathern with LSBME. I'm an investigator.
Okay.
Here at LSBME.
All right. Yolanda.
Yolanda Bennett. I'm a MLS and I represent MLS journalists.
That's good to see you.
Good seeing y'all.
Priscilla.
Hi, I'm Priscilla. I'm a licensing analyst for CLPs at the board.
Lauren.
Lauren Seth, I'm an attorney with the board.
Jessica.
I'm Jessica Lassiter. I'm an MLS educator for the committee.
Spooner.
I'm Esperanza Spooner, the probation compliance officer for the board.
Okay. Somebody just popped up. I can't see who's behind it. Johnson.
Yeah, I'm Phyllis Johnson, the
the supervisor for allied health and clinical lab.
All right. And Dr. Van.
I'm Van Colon, Executive Director of the board, and I need to identify one person who signed in as read.ai meeting. Who might that be?
I don't know.
Do y'all have something on at the board recording the minutes of the meeting?
That's the AI note taker.
That's the AI note taker.
Well, I don't know who turned it on, so I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to get rid of them. That's done.
So I'm getting an error that says now the meeting is not being recorded. I thought the meeting had to be recorded.
It's not being recorded but it is still on YouTube.
Okay.
It's being recorded by YouTube, and I did not know who was taking AI notes. So since nobody claimed it, I turned it off.
All right. Introductions have been made. Public comments. Public comments can be made by email during this meeting at publiccomment@lsbme.la.gov. Dr. Van, will you be monitoring for comments?
Yes, ma'am, I am, as we speak.
Great. All righty. Our agenda and any documents that we need are on the cloud share. Is everyone able to see that?
Yes.
May I share the agenda now?
Yes.
Sure.
Can everybody see it? Is it big enough for everybody?
Yes. Yes.
All right, first item on the agenda is minutes from our last meeting.
Okay, it has me in attendance twice.
Up at the on the agenda.
I thought
I mean,
Patsy had fixed that. Is Patsy there?
I am. This is the agenda, not the
Oh,
minutes.
I'm sorry.
Well, here's
Oh,
the
I'm
minutes.
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. It is the minutes, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What's wrong with the minutes?
I'm showing as an attendance twice.
Oh, no, we read it. It's been changed since you got that, Michelle. Oh, no, you were on there twice. I don't know. I just sent it to
There should be a motion to simply
Melissa
remove the second
Gender
Michelle
to correct
Edmondson
that.
of the minutes. And Miss Melissa will do that after you approve it with that motion.
I make a motion that my name only appear as being a member present once. Miss Michelle Edmiston.
Also,
Second.
All in favor of this edit to the minutes, say aye.
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 Aye. This is Valinda. My name is also spelled incorrectly, Carmon.
See, Patsy, this is not the right one, but that's
Well,
okay.
I sent the right one, Angela.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. We can make the corrections.
Any other corrections to be made?
I bet it has November, the meeting of November 2024 in the front
It
in the top
does.
paragraph.
It
Yeah,
does.
I corrected that. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyway, this is the wrong version. It's okay.
Melissa Genders just told me she uploaded it. So I don't know if there are two that have
Well,
been
maybe Dr.
uploaded.
Van is sharing the wrong one.
Can
I'm
you
sharing
check?
the one that was sent to me in the cloud share as the full agenda. I will go back to the cloud share and download the other one.
Okay, because she told me a couple of hours ago that it was up. The corrected one had been uploaded.
Be nice if people would tell me. I'm sorry. I'll get the right one up. Give me a minute. Okay, this must be the one. Let's see if this is the right version.
Does it have August 13th, the meeting of August 13th, 2025
In the paragraph.
in the paragraph?
Hang on, I still haven't gotten it. I've tried to download. Okay, CLP meeting for August. Let's go back.
But in the paragraph.
Okay, give me a minute.
Should say draft 2.
I noticed that it didn't say draft 2. I don't know.
Well, I sent it. I
Yeah,
don't know
it's
either.
okay.
Full agenda, draft 1. Okay, well. If maybe Miss, it downloads, but it doesn't it's not running for me. I'm trying to figure out why. Give me a second.
I can email it over to you, Dr. Van. I have it right now.
Shoot it to me as an email and maybe it'll open because the download doesn't work. Thank you very much.
Was everybody read it? Do y'all have any questions about?
The changes were weren't substantive in terms of what we did at the meeting. It was just like Michelle's name
Spellings and
twice and
stuff, yeah.
that kind of stuff. Oh gosh.
Since we've all have reviewed them, can we accept them without them being shown on the screen?
Well, with the noted corrections.
With the noted corrections. Patricia, is that allowed?
Yes, that's totally fine. You're approving the minutes as related to you, that the corrections you're noting in this draft that you looked at have already been corrected, and you'll substitute that for the official minutes after the meeting.
Okay.
I think I got them up now. I apologize for the delay. Okay, I think this is the right one. We have corrected.
Yep.
Still need to correct Miss Valinda's name.
Right.
Took out the Michelle second version. This says August. Is there any other?
That's correct. That's it.
And
Any
then we
other
had,
corrections?
there was a spelling for Jessica's name in that.
Yeah, those.
I think that got fixed. That got fixed too.
Yeah, the spelling is corrected.
Did we fix it? Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I motion to accept the minutes with the edits made.
And who's this? I can't
It's
see.
Tabitha.
Tabitha. And second?
Second,
I-
Yolanda.
Yolanda. All right. Just have a question. Ms. Wilton, usually when we do a vote, I watch the names flash to indicate that folks have voted. And I can't see that when we're sharing.
There's probably a way on your screen that you can see that, but it's not worth worrying about now. If everyone will just make their voice vote nice and loud, if we hear what sounds like a flock of votes, I'll be fine with that. It's requiring a voice vote. It doesn't require anything more than that. So
Okay. All right. Very good.
Okay,
All right.
who seconded that?
Yolanda.
Yolanda, thank you.
All right, all those in favor of accepting our minutes with the changes as noted, say aye.
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 I heard an extra I. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. The next topic on our agenda is appointments to the committee. Patsy, where do we stand on that?
I called the governor's office and she told me that they had not received the Board of Regents nominees, and I called Emily Skake at the Board of Regents, and I don't know, I thought that had been done months ago, but anyway, she sent them again. So they do have, they're there. The other thing was one of the resumes of one of the nominees was missing. So I contacted both parties and everything. They have all sent it in. So we should hear something soon.
All righty. Did we have the right number of nominees for each position? Because didn't the governor want 3 of each now?
They did, and I don't know. I do not know who's been nominated.
Okay.
I would think not, but I think they're gonna, she didn't say anything about that. So
Okay.
I have to assume that the numbers are acceptable.
Okay. All righty. The next topic, number 3, timeline for granting licenses. I know, Jessica, you had some information from last time. I don't know if you wanted to share that or let Dr. Van show his grids.
So I have the summary from ASCP because I sent in my students' names that graduated in May, and they followed their timelines just to see how long it took for them to register for the exam, for their transcript to become credentialed, and then for them to even send, for ASCP to send the primary source verification to LSBME. And some of the timelines were as short as 4 days, and then the longest was 8 business days. So ASCP, we had no problems with ASCP this go around. It was all in a very tight timeline that everything got completed after we did that audit and brought it to their attention.
Well, good.
That is good.
Yes. It was better this go around for ASCP side than I remember in many years.
I think ever.
Maybe they've changed their process.
Yeah, I mean, maybe what we
Think
did
ever.
with help.
We'll take it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what about from the time that LSBME got all the material to the license was issued?
Now there are some outliers for that.
We're going to talk about the outliers, but the data you see on the screen is the time from when they paid for their application to the time they granted the license. So we don't process a license application until they pay. So, and this is since January through September. Our cytotechnologists are low volume, but short time. Our generalists are fairly high volume. And you can see that the average number of days is still very good. Move down to the next one. These are sorted alphabetically, unfortunately. They're not grouped by clinical lab. So this is the laboratory assistants. And you can see there's some, but overall, we're averaging under 20 days. And here is our phlebotomists. So again, I think that we're moving this along at a rather rapid pace. There was some outliers that were sent to me, and if you want it, well, let's go over those right now, if you'd like.
Sure.
All right, so let me change.
Now,
You're in public
Dr.
session,
Van.
so
I'm sorry, what?
you're in public session, so unless I'm just making sure there's no identifying information.
There's a lot of identifying information. Let's do that in executive session then.
Excuse me, can y'all let Belinda back in?
Hold on a minute. I don't see, let's see. Melinda's in.
There's, can I say something about the timelines? The timelines of when they actually pay doesn't guarantee that they've sent all their materials in.
So again,
actually,
Yeah, Pat, let me address what Patsy's saying. At the
Okay.
present time, they simply make the application and then we send requests for information. That has been the basic problem that we have had. We're expediting the criminal background checks, but some of this stuff does not get to us. What we are going to in 2026, we're going to shift all of our licensing process to they have to submit all of the documentation, their certification number, and of course we're going to when we don't do temporaries and we stick with their certification number, we don't have to worry about getting their transcript from the school or the diploma because that's subsumed in the certification. Once they submit that number and all the rest of their data, they pay. All we do is turn them around and send them a piece of paper to go get their fingerprints. And by the end of 2026, we should have shifted that to a much narrower curve and closer to zero. The outliers will decrease on the long end and will be closer to zero on the left end, or the dates to final granting of the license. So we're not going to chase paper anymore by 2026. The only thing that'll be the substantial delay is fingerprints. They will have to go and get their fingerprints, but once they get their fingerprints, it will be anywhere from 2 to 5 days to get those results.
And in this, you're addressing the licensees we have that take a national exam, not the other ones.
This is for everybody. That they take the. Right now, we have 3 certification exams.
Well, lab
Talk
assistant
about lab assistants.
do not take an exam.
Yeah, okay, but I'm talking about for your rest of them.
Somebody's phone's picking up.
So again,
That was Angela.
I would rather do the others in executive session if you don't mind.
We have to. That'd be great.
Okay, and this is just a panorama of all of our licenses on the screen right now. But you can see, even with some of the worst outliers, we're still averaging under 20 days. So just want to let you know our team in licensing is doing great work and we appreciate it. And we're trying to make it even better for the users than it's been in a long time.
Does anyone have any questions or comments on this?
When will that new process begin? In January?
We are hoping to phase them in beginning in January. When it will be the clinical lab, they will probably be our second or third group. We're going to go with the MD group first because that's our largest group. Clinical lab happens to be our second largest group, but we're going to take the MDs and the PAs, try and get them done at the same time. And so you'll be probably third or fourth.
Did you say 2026, Dr.
Well,
Collada?
2026, the plan is to phase in this, what we are calling the front load system.
So when you talk about January, you mean not January? Yeah, this coming January. Okay. All right. I got it. Thanks.
Now, Dr. Collada, front load system, that's really what we're doing now.
No,
They're
it's not.
loading. Why isn't it?
Because you don't send any documents in until we send a request for it.
That's not correct.
Well, I'm telling you what we don't even open a document to do anything until the licensee pays.
We do. We pay first. We register on the dashboard. We pay and they send documents in the next day.
But not everybody is doing that. Maybe Jessica, you have a great group that's doing it, but I can tell you that is not how everybody is doing it. And that's what gives us our outliers, because not everybody. So now we're going to force everybody into doing what you are saying with the front load system. You will not be able to pay until you have, in each appropriate spot, uploaded a document that is in a PDF file. And we have a bit of AI involved coming online that's going to allow them to know that it is a document and not a picture of your child or your dog.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, once you pay, the next working day, the analyst will open that file, send a response requesting you to go get the fingerprints and start processing the rest of the data. And then all we're waiting for is the fingerprints. But we're not going to chase anything anymore. If you don't put it in, you're not going to be able to pay.
What
Well,
about,
I mean,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm just the outliers that I have when my applicants are applying is a problem with the certain people at the board not answering emails or not answering the phone. So this is not going to fix that problem.
Yes, it is, because nobody is going to get to pay until all of the documents are in the application.
So
that's number one.
So that's not going to fix our problem. We're already at a laboratory shortage. So if we can't get LSBME to answer the phone and answer emails and follow up with what they're missing until they pay, they're still going to be there in lingo. And we don't have people working.
Miss Jessica, I'm sorry, I'm not properly explaining to you. I apologize. Let me see if I can make you understand. You will not be able to pay. Therefore, we will not process until all of the documents, save the criminal background check, are loaded into the electronic application. You will not be going through the portal. The new electronic application system will require that all of the required documents must be uploaded before you can pay. At that point, we will start processing, and we will have nothing to chase, nothing to look up, except wait for the criminal background checks. So again, it will eliminate the need for phone calls to the board, and it will shorten the time to get things done. Because you won't, if you don't put it in the application can stay open for 2 months, 3 weeks, we don't care. We are not going to touch an application until it's paid, and it won't allow them to pay until the documents are in the application. It's going to be different than what you're talking about front load now, because what you're doing front load is not, you're just sending documents in, and I have to admit, sometimes they're getting lost. Sometimes people are not answering emails, but this is going to eliminate those that don't answer the emails and eliminate the need for phone calls, because you won't even we won't touch anything until we'll get it all at one time, and it won't get lost because it'll be automatically brought into the application software for the initial application.
So how are you going to handle notarized documents?
We're
How
not
do
going
you
to
do
use
that?
notarized documents anymore.
So
You will
Dr. Van, I have
verify,
one que-
you'll be verifying each document is true, and you understand that if it's found to be false, you would be guilty of unprofessional conduct and possibly subject your license to censure, and you'll be checking that off regularly, and everybody that forgets, they're going to forget. I'm sorry, we'll have to figure it out with disciplinary action if they forget, because we're going to make it as easy as possible. So notarized documents are going to disappear. Anything that, and you're going to verify, the licensee is going to verify that it's true and active.
Dr. Van, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, it's my understanding that the schools have to send in that the students are eligible to sit for their certification. And that from the time they have graduated until they sit for their certification, there won't be a document for the certification exam. So therefore, they can't pay you to start their licensing. Is that what I'm understanding?
They will get a number very shortly after they finish they pass the exam. They can get a number. They'll upload that certification number, and that's all we're going to do is verify that certification number. And yes, they will not be able to give us that. They will not be able to pay until they give us that number. But by that time, everything else we need should be there, and all they have to do is get their fingerprints.
So from the time they graduate school until they've taken the test, they're not eligible to go to work.
That is the system we're proposing. The board has approved, and that's where we're moving.
And add in there, then they have to do a background check. So
Well,
if there's any problems with the background check, like in the past, we have some students that may have issues that have to be approved by a board, it's even more delayed.
Well, but let me say this to you. Wouldn't you rather have somebody who's been convicted of theft or rape or child pornography or child abuse or spousal abuse not get a license until we know they should get it?
Oh, yeah, I'm not arguing with that. That's not what I said. I'm just saying this process is delaying them even further to go to work, whereas we could do it early and get a,
No,
we
this
don't
is not
usually
gonna
have
delay
those
them from going
cases.
to
We
work.
have drug-related cases, so it's even delaying them longer.
Well, again, the only thing that's going to delay them more than anything is a positive criminal background check, because everybody will be the same. Nobody, you can start uploading your process, you can start the application months in advance now. And so they can start getting everything in line, and all they have to wait for is their certification number, and we're done.
Dr.
criminal
Van,
background checks.
I have
Yeah.
one other question.
Yes, ma'am.
From the time that they graduate till they take the certification exam, how are you going to keep up with their timeline? Right
The
now,
timeline doesn't begin until they pay, which means until they take the certification exam and get their number, they are not considered in the time frame at all.
well, but part of the question is what have you done with your life in the last 10 years? So there's going to be a gap from the time they graduate until they take their certification exam. Where does that going to fit in your dashboard?
Okay, well, here's the thing. If somebody says, let's say, for example, the only gap is going to be from a couple of weeks from graduation to taking the certification exam, we won't have a problem with that.
But that
let's
has
say-
stopped us.
You do have a problem with that. Y'all delay it every time because they don't have that filled in.
That does stop it.
Okay, here's the thing. It's not going to affect it in the new system, because we're going to allow for the fact that they had time from graduation. They're not going to have work. They're not going to do anything. They won't get their criminal background check till afterwards. So from the time they graduate till the time they take the certification exam, as long as it's not over a year, or if you want to make it 6 months, I'll make it 6 months. But again, if it's just a reasonably short time, they graduated, they took the exam in 6 or 8 weeks, we're going to consider that to be not a problem. It's when they graduate in 87 and don't come back and don't get their certification until 2 years later, 89, and if you want to go 2025, graduate in 25 and don't get their certification at 27, that's where we're going to want to know what happened.
So in this world, we've done away with temp license.
Yes, the temporary licenses will only exist in times of emergency, such as a COVID, a Katrina, and that kind of thing, and it'll be regionalized if needed be.
So that's been.
And see, that's the complete opposite of what that's fine, do away with the temp license, but all this that you're pushing further back behind certification should be done prior. So the minute they get their certification, they're ready to go. But we're backing it up even more. We should
No,
have
you're
that.
not backing it up.
Yes, we
We're
are.
not-
That background check should be done prior to that.
Well, let me say this to you. We'll look at the possibility. The problem is we are not going to be opening up the application until they pay. And we're averaging, and please, Ms. Phyllis, correct me, we are averaging 2 to 5 days on the criminal background check. The problem is, unfortunately, this class of licenses have a higher rate of criminal background activity that requires review and possible investigations. That I can't allow for to pass without getting the investigation. But if they have their clean criminal background in 2 to 5 days, they'll be getting their license about the time the criminal background check comes in.
I have a question there. So you're saying that the laboratory licenses as a whole have more problems?
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
if you break that down, are you saying your BS degree people have a problem? Your associate degree have a problem? Or are you saying our phlebotomist and lab assistants have a problem?
I have not broken that data down. If you'd like me to, I can get that data. I can begin to try and get that data for you.
If you find, I mean,
it's a CL, it's the clinical laboratory personnel class.
okay, but look at this. For all of our investigations that we're going to do today, statistically, it is not the BS degree people who are taking an exam that are on this list. It is not the associate degree people that are on this list. I don't think that these two classes of professions should be penalized for another class of licensee.
Well, let me say this to you. It is all one class, clinical laboratory personnel. These are types of clinical laboratory personnel in our class. Now, we can look at that data and perhaps come back and say it, but nobody is being penalized because everybody is being treated the same. You provide all your data administratively, you pay, you get your criminal background check, and it doesn't matter what group you come from, the criminal background check will be done in 2 to 5 days. And then we have to deal with the positive ones. And that's what the delay is dealing with the positive ones, because sometimes our investigations department has to open an investigation and spend time getting information. But if there's no need for a criminal background check investigation, it's going to be 2 to 5 days after they get their fingerprints. Now, if somebody pays today, we have everything, and then we send them back the next day, working day, they request to go get their fingerprints, but they wait 3 weeks. It's going to be 3 weeks plus 2 to 5 days.
So it's my understanding they cannot go and get that criminal background check until everything is complete and they have paid. They can't get it sooner and then have it sent.
That's what we are proposing, because now it is so fast. Historically, when it was sometimes 3 and 4 months, we allowed that to happen. But now that it's 2 to 5 days on average, I don't think we need to worry about that anymore.
I think we need to worry about the ones who answer yes on that attestation. And some of it is very minor. It's growing years, like a DWI and stuff like that happened when they were minors, and it's going to delay them even longer. I don't see why we can't.
Long enough. Again, Miss Jessica, that's only going to delay them long enough for us to make sure that there's no discrepancies and say, oh, it was a DWI when they were 17 and they're 22 graduating now. We're going to move those rapidly through the system, okay? That's not going to be a major delay. But when it's 4 DWIs at 17, 19, 21, 22, and they're 24 graduating, that may be a requirement where we get them reviewed, tested, evaluated, and possibly put them in a probationary period when they have to do the 12-step programs and the other things that investigations recommends to be done for these people, so that they don't come into your lab, work, and then you find out later on that they have a problem.
I think
that protect the public.
I understand that, and I think we all understand that. We know if there's an extensive criminal history, it's going to take longer. We get that. The problem is these students, and we're talking about ones that are just graduating, they get offers for jobs months before they graduate, and they don't know. They know their background history, but they don't know how long that's going to take licensure, because in past years, trends, it's taken months. And I'd rather be able to, they want to tell that employer, yes, I can go to work if they graduate in May, by June 1st. But if we're waiting for these things to be done after they pass their certification, these employers are going to say, I'm going to pick someone else.
Look, Jessica, this is Patricia. I have some involvement with what we call the yes answers. And it might be a criminal background check. It might be some other thing on that attestation that they answered yes to. I can promise you, in a day, the folks reviewing this will look at 30 of them. And it's just as you say, it's something that happened 20 years ago. There's never been a hint of anything wrong. Those things get cleared in 30 seconds. In the time it takes to open it, read it, close it, and send it back. The ones that have extensive criminal history or probative criminal history that might affect their ability to protect and serve the public, I can't apologize for that. That is something that is going to have to be reviewed, and even then, we do as fast as we possibly can to turn them around. But the ones you're talking about, the minor disclosures, they're yes answers. They have to be looked at. They are open and closed within 30 seconds and sent on their way. So in the past, it has been delays, but I assure you that that's not what's happening now, and that the new system is going to cure, or the new approach is going to cure some of the other delays that you've been mentioning. The reality is Louisiana law requires a background check. Louisiana law requires certain credentials, and rather than playing phone tag and going back and forth as we have been in past years, this allows the individual to put everything in right up front. They can't pass go without doing that. They pay, they get their background check, and as soon as that comes in, it's reviewed and cleared. Or if it has to be shunted to investigations, that's not on us, that's on the applicant. But I feel like there is a history that is troubling and may have caused some of your applicants problems. And over the past year to 18 months, I can assure you, Dr. Van and licensing and investigations have worked every which way from Sunday to move things faster, to improve efficiencies, and the numbers speak for themselves outside of what you're always going to have, which is every once in a while you're going to have somebody that it doesn't fit neatly within the mold that can be passed through within a day or two. But all of the complaints that you all have been making, I promise you they've been heard. I promise you they've been addressed. The old system was not as efficient as this system is now, even as we speak, and it will only become more efficient in the future. But we can't, we can't keep it, we can't say it any other different way, in that when we have all the documentation, when the money's paid, and when the background check clears, your students and applicants will be going to work as fast as humanly possible.
All of that has to be, so the background check has to be done after they've passed the certification, or can it be done before they do the certification? That's what I'm asking.
Jessica, I will make an honest effort to look into seeing how we can do that. At the way we're proposing the new system, it will not work, but let me look into it, see if we can do something. But I want to be very candid. The way we become more efficient is to standardize everything the same, whether you are licensing a doctor, whether you're licensing a PA, and that is what gives us the ability to streamline processing and effectively do more work with less effort from our licensing analysts. We want to make this as efficient as it is possible. I don't want to discriminate against anybody. I don't want to do it differently for some people, because standardization makes it more efficient. Listen, I will say to you that I was, how do I want to say, just unpleasantly surprised 11 months ago when we got to look at the real numbers of things in work and investigations and delays that you historically are referring to. I can only tell you some of the data, and let me share with you some of the data. 11 months ago, we discovered that we had 371 or 73 open preliminary investigations, which are supposed to be only 90 days. And it turns out that we had an average of 581 days, and some of them out 8 standard deviations to over 2,000 days. Now, some of those were these yes answers, okay? I can tell you that we have streamlined the system, and right now we have less than 200 open investigations in all types, not just preliminary, formal, and all the other things. The team in investigations has really stepped up. We have a new director. He is doing marvelous work. We have a new deputy director, assistant director, and they're all working hard. People like Ms. Dufresne are doing yeoman's work to get this done. And so that's why I feel you are using historical efforts to compare what we're doing today and project on what's going to do tomorrow. And I think we have to look at the history as being the past, and it's not going to be what it's like now. It's not what it's like now, and it's not what it's going to be like in the future. So again, I think, Historical controls are just not going to be valid in this new system.
So I just would like to make sure I understand temporary licenses are going away. Even if it's in our rules, they're going away.
Well, no, the rules say the board may issue temporary license. Your law says the board may issue temporary license. And yes, we always reserve the need to do so. Let's say, for example, okay, the BOC burns to the ground next month. We would have to change that process because we would not be able to get data from them, and we'd have to grant temporary licenses. During COVID, when people couldn't get testing, we granted temporary license. There are going to be urgent situations that require an adjustment, but that's what we want to reserve this for, because in looking at some of our data, we found out that people who had temporary licenses went to work in good places and stayed on those, even though see, we can't go out and look anymore. We used to be able to say, well, why didn't you renew your temporary? If you don't renew, you don't renew. We just say it's not renewed. But some people weren't verifying that those licenses were non-renewed. And so people were actually working. They were hired on a temporary license and working. And it's not just you, it's OT, it's everybody. We have cases across the board. Doctors are involved in some of the fewest because we have such a larger credentialing process that goes on outside of us that kept that from happening. But again, the thing is, and I will tell you now, maybe one of the things that you all can do is understand that if we're going to truly protect the public, and you've determined that certification is necessary, then let's not let them work until they are certified. And it's only going to be a very short period of time from certification to getting their fingerprints and getting their job. I think if certification means nothing, then let's do away with it. We don't need a license if you want to do away with it. We're only one of 8 states that's licensed clinical laboratory personnel. If you want to do away with any of those things, let's say so. It'll actually take longer to do, but we can do it if you want. We can say do away with certification. We'll just use schools and credentials, and that way nobody's certified. But if certification means something, then let's say we're going to use it.
I would think that it means something if we went to the trouble of getting our state licensed.
That's what I'm saying. I respect you all for doing that, and I want to make sure
but you're willing to blow it off.
I'm not willing to blow it off, but I can tell you, you could make a justification in the current climate of occupational licensing today across the country, that why is Louisiana one of only 8 states that license clinical laboratory personnel? I don't know, but that's what we decided. And again, you need to understand that licensing in general, whether it's physicians, clinical laboratory, electricians, plumbers, is under fire across the country.
I think thank you. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I know you've said before that we have to be done by 5. Is that still stand?
That's right.
I hate for the people that are waiting for us to review in the investigations to wait till another meeting. I personally appreciate hearing that our previous complaints were valid, because for years all we've heard is no, they're not, no, they're not, no, they're not. So I appreciate that
Again,
problem was found.
I was kept in the dark by the decisions of the board, so I knew nothing about what was going on in investigations. We're fixing it.
One thing to say, and it won't take long. With removing the temp license and adding the front loading system and using an AI generated credentialing system, will that remove the need? Will that take out the need of, for instance, I don't really understand this process, but I want y'all to clearly tell me, once the student uploads their certification, or really they can't upload that, they're going to have to get the certification agency to send their certification to LSBME. will it automatically be released their license now, or is it still needing someone to evaluate that? Like, will the AI system do the automatic checks, or are we needing someone to go in and analyze it? So just say we have a student that submits every bit of document they're supposed to be. They have a clean background check. They pass the certification, they turn it in. Can all that be verified by a computer system and not individual people?
There will
'Cause
be
that's
some of
what's
it that
slowing us
can and
down.
some of it that can't. The short answer is some yet will be able to and some will not be able to. And our licensing analysts will have less work to do. There's still going to be hands-on and there'll ultimately be the supervisor, make sure that everything is done. And then it's Miss Aloma, our director of licensing, is empowered to grant the license as soon as all of the work is done. But we anticipate that will be much shorter times because the work that the licensing analyst will have to do is right now, the bulk of their work is two things. One is chasing documents, and two is data entry. We're going to eliminate a lot of the data entry, and we're going to eliminate chasing the documents. I apologize. Go ahead.
So just like in the lab, we have auto verification of results that we trust are normal ranges and automatically get verified. Why wouldn't these applicants that have no outliers be everything submitted and be auto verified?
We can certainly look at that, and we have to put in our first system before we can add the second. But yes, I think once we get the phase in for the front load, if we can see that there's been no problem, we can start streamlining. This is a stepwise look. I have a goal, 0-day licensing. It's never going to happen because of criminal background checks, but I'm working closer and closer to that all the time. It's a stepwise progression to perfection. We'll never get there, but we're always going to be striving for it.
Okay, one thing, Jessica, about looking at the, I think one of the critical things is looking at the work history of the person, because a lot of times we find people that have been working without a license, and that cannot be checked automatically. Somebody that knows what looks like a legal job and what looks like working without a license has to determine that. And then those people are investigated. So I don't know how you're going to automate that.
Like I said, some will be and some won't be.
But it's a good thought, and we will look into a way if that's possible. If everything is check, and there's no reason why anything needs to be revisited or reviewed, and there's a way to do it. I can tell you, Dr. Collada is the most technologically data-oriented, proficient person that I've ever known, and if he can do that, he will.
And
as
again,
a goal.
The board has challenged me to be data-driven. We are being data-driven at every step now. And I think the important thing to note is that when we find an opportunity for data to let us change processes, we are doing it. The board is approving it. And that's, I think, as we evolve, as we get, maybe by 2027, we'll see, hey, we can shut down some of the things we've been traditionally doing. And that's what I want to do. But I'm going to have the data to show the board as each time we take a step, are these steps still protecting the public? That's the board's question about all the things we do these days.
Okay, any other comments? If not, we'll move on to number 4.
I do want to say that Miss Walton has been, when we send out those things that are need investigation to look at, I've been getting stuff back from her within the next day. So she really is sending them back that are minor infractions back within a day.
All right, thank you. All right, number 4, acceptable homeschool study high school diplomas. I believe, Ms. Wilton, you were doing some investigation on this topic.
I did, and I can just tell you briefly. For Louisiana, there's a 2-track system whereby homeschooling is recognized. One is a home study program that you go through that is BESI approved. And that essentially is literally, for all intents and purposes, by regulation, a de facto equivalent to a public traditional diploma that is granted by the state of Louisiana. There's another track that Louisiana has, which is a non-approved homeschooling track, but parents issue a diploma, they are recognized, and it's only the recipient, how they want to use that diploma, that makes a difference as to whether it's sufficient or not. So for instance, you can't get tops with it, you have to have some SAT scores to be able to get into college with it, but it's a recognized diploma. It's just how you can use it that makes a difference. We are only slightly stricter than our contiguous states of Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Texas. I said Tennessee, Texas. Texas has recognized homeschooling diploma. It is parent driven, and it has the same effect and equivalent of a high school. There's no required testing or equivalence, and there's not even a curriculum requirement. So what happens in Texas is if you get your diploma from your dad, then whoever's going to use that diploma as an for entrance into school or for an occupational license is they measure it against a template, and if it fits within a template of equivalency, then it's not whether or not the diploma is valid, because all of these states recognize a parent issued homeschool diploma. It's a question of what currency does that have to get you where you want to go. So in Arkansas, the same thing. Homeschooling is treated like private schooling. Parent issues the diploma. All you have to do in Arkansas is you have to notify the Department of Education that that's what you're doing. There's not even a required curriculum or testing. Same kind of thing. Mississippi, if you don't want to go to school, Mississippi is where you want to be. Mississippi has zero standards, zero laws, zero requirements, and your dad can say you graduated from high school, sign your name, and that's your diploma. Again, what currency, what will that buy you a diploma under that regard? That's something different altogether. So what I suggest that you allow me to do is get with Patsy, get with licensing, and have a checklist of what essentially would be an equivalency homeschool diploma in Louisiana. And if that is satisfied by the document sent in by the applicant, then licensing would have the ability to say that that meets the requirements. If it's outside of those parameters, then that would be, again, given to Patsy, given to myself for yes answers or what have you, and maybe even brought to you as well if it's from another state where we can't really verify anything. What all these diplomas, what the parents are told to do in these situations is document what they taught, how they taught it, and verify that this is a genuine, bona fide educational program that resulted in an educated person that's substantially equivalent to a traditional education. So we can standardize the easy cases, and then we can do the same thing for the not easy cases as we do with the yes answers. We might have to ask the student or the applicant, hey, show me documentation of the coursework that you did. If you were a free schooler, that new trend, it's in some states where you don't have to prove anything to anybody. You can just go to the park with your child and point to the trees, or you can just, it's a child-driven experience where they actually don't have any formal educational pursuits at all. It's just living their lives, but that's what I suggest to you, is that you allow Patsy and myself in licensing to work together, and I will give her what would be the non-approved homeschooling equivalent that Louisiana would recognize for diploma purposes. And then anything outside of that would have to be reviewed.
I think that sounds good.
Do we need to make a motion for this?
What I'd like you to do, Ms. Gay, if you don't mind, is let Patricia, Patsy, and licensing formulate the final version of this. Let you all look at it. And then when you want to recommend adopting it, we'll present it to the board and the board will approve it or disapprove it.
Okay, so we'll just table it till y'all get something ready to present to us.
Please.
All right, any questions for Ms. Wilton, anybody? All righty, thank you for that. Number 5, inclusion of category specialist license in verifications.
Okay, I'll speak to that one. I think we have a problem in that the people that have a specialist license, when they verify a specialist license, it doesn't say what they're a specialist in. So they don't really know what those people can do because they don't know what their category is. So what we'd like to be able to do is on the website, when they do verification and it comes up and it says specialist, it'll say specialist chemistry, specialist toxicology, specialist something else, microbiology or something like that. I think that would be very helpful to the people who are running laboratories or the managers of laboratories to know that these people are licensed they are licensed in that category.
In that designation.
Yes, and that's what they should be doing.
Okay.
Yes.
What do we need to do here?
Make a recommendation, we'll start the process, and it'll take some time to reprogram and that's why it'll probably be phased in as part of the evolution to front load. We'll change the application to say where it is, where it states, and how we report it. But it'll take a little time because some people, if they self-report, we just have to verify that.
Okay, but it doesn't require a motion or anything. Does anybody have a question for Patsy?
I think just ask us to start the process to bring that online and we will start doing it.
I think that it needs to be done. I'm surprised it wasn't already that way, but I've never applied for a specialist license, so I didn't know.
I brought it up before, and it's been a while. In the old computer packages, they couldn't do it, but I really think they can do it.
All right.
So wait, am I understand that then when you get your license, it's going to say specialist and then it'll say micro, specialist, molecular, specialist. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that
Will
and
it say that on the license?
Wait, I was talking. What?
I just said, would it say that on the license? That's my question.
I think it should say it on the license, but I think it should definitely say it on the website in verifications of licensure. Like if you look up somebody's name and it says that they're a generalist, that's important. Now for a specialist, all it says is specialist. It doesn't say a specialist in what. And I think that's for the
well, we all agree
laboratory
that.
problem.
What we need to know is how will that be addressed? Would it be just on the website, or would it also be on the license? Like you're going to apply for a specialist license in microbiology, or that kind of thing, and it's going to be on your license. It's not going to just say specialist.
Well, I think that this committee can recommend that we put it on the license and be in licensure verification.
So Patsy, this is Alexa. We see these a lot when we're surveying, and as you know, a lot of times we have to reach out to the board to see what specialists or what specialty people are certified to perform high complexity testing in.
Right.
And when we looked at it, we've compared it to like the physician license because they use that specialty drop down on the online verification, but their license, the actual, not that we get cards in the mail anymore, but the actual card didn't say it on there. It was just on the online verification.
Okay.
So I'm not sure that it would be on their license, but it would be in the specialty drop down that is on the verification through LSBME's.
Okay, that's good. Maybe that's all that it needs.
Ms. Gay, I have one question. As the administrative representative, are you aware that hospitals can query our database electronically multiple times during the year to check statuses of licenses?
Yes, sir. That's where I print them from. I don't wait for somebody to bring me their license. I go on and print my employees
No,
off
but I'm
myself.
talking about, let's say it's March of 2026. And one of your techs got suspended by the board. How do you know that? Are you checking online?
No,
to see? Okay, well, what I want to
I
tell
know
you,
that I can. I know that I can.
well, but you
Never had, I would have assumed that the board would notify their employer, but y'all don't know who the employer is.
Well, what I'm trying to say to you is we have a system that has been running for 5 years now, where hospitals are taking all of their PAs, all of their MDs, their DOs, their podiatrists, and they're querying us on some of the hospitals twice a month. So that if somebody gets suspended, they know immediately or within weeks of it happening. What I'm suggesting to you is, since we're in the process of upgrading what you want to do, would you like us to make that service available to all of the hospitals for the clinical laboratory personnel? Because you only license at the end of the year, and something may happen in July that you don't know about until that license doesn't renew.
I think it should be. I think it should be for all people licensed by the board.
Well, we're going to go ahead and then talk to we'll talk about setting that up. But most of the problem is the hospitals are already, your hospital is doing it for their docs. All they're going to have to do is start doing it for their clinical lab people. And we're going to set that up for you as part of this. But because we're going to add this new database field in, that's a little tricky for the programmers, but it's going to get done. And we'll have this new. Now, the other thing is, how do you want to verify it? Is it self-declared specialty, or how do you want to verify the specialty that we put there?
When I approve them, in the comments, I always put what the specialty is.
But Patsy, I know for a fact that you and I are not going to be here in maybe 10 to 12 years when the system
This is
still
true.
functioning. So we got to figure out how we're going to do it and not depend upon you.
Yeah.
So let's figure out, make some suggestions, think about this. We got other things to do. We'll talk about it next month. We'll put it on the agenda for next month. How we're going to verify or self-report, or how you want to put right now we have a method of verifying what they self-report in the physician area of specialty. You just have to work it out for your area of specialty. So I'd ask everybody to think about this, and we'll come back next month and figure out a way, and we can move on the agenda.
All righty. The next item on the agenda is going into executive session. Do I have a motion for us to enter executive session?
A motion to move.
I second.
Is that Michelle and Jessica?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. All those approved of us entering executive session, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Please set us up for executive session.
All right, give me 1 second.
If you see a blue button to join, please hit it.
All right, are we back live here? Are we ready?
Yes, you can go ahead.
All right, I need a motion and second for us to leave executive session.
No, that's already done. You're good
Already-
with that.
All
Yeah.
right, so now do we need to vote to leave?
No, you left by, no.
All righty. For the items that we went over in executive session, the first is number 2020-I-104. Do I have a motion?
I have a motion to agree with the recommendation of the investigative department.
All right, and that's Tabitha. Do I get a second?
I'll
Second.
second. Anyway, yeah,
All
okay.
right. So motion by Tabitha, second Jessica. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Number 2025-437. Do I have a motion?
Recommend to closing the case.
And that's
I
Michelle.
second.
Who's Tabitha?
Tabitha.
I have a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is 2025-537. Do I have a motion?
I recommend
Go ahead, Michelle.
licensure- I recommend licensure without restrictions.
Second?
Angela. Or whoever. Okay.
We have a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is 2025-538. Do I have a motion?
I motion to licensure without restriction. It's Tabitha.
Tabitha, and second?
Second.
Angela. Jessica. Okay, whatever. Or Belinda. We'll do
Belinda.
that.
All right. I have
Go
a
ahead.
motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is 2025-542. Do I have a motion?
I recommend licensure without restrictions.
Michelle, any second?
Second, Tabitha.
Tabitha, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is 2025-543. Do I have a motion?
I motion to license with no restrictions.
Thank you, it's Jessica. Second?
Second, Tabitha.
Tabitha, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is 2025-544. Do I have a motion?
Oh, I motion that we have licensure without restrictions.
All right, a second?
Second.
Jessica? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is 2025-589.
I have a motion to close the case according to the recommendations.
All right, it's Tabitha. A second?
Angela. I
Angela?
second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. All righty, that covers the items on our agenda. Do y'all have any other comments or anything?
I recommend that we adjourn.
I
Yeah, we
Thank the
second.
committee for its hard work today. Thank you very much, and we'll revisit those outliers in the next meeting.
All right. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.